Okay. What are we doing? All right. We're talking about, what are we talking about? So you've decided that you want to go to a shelter and get a dog. Fantastic. This video will help you figure out what you actually want. So I'm going to talk for a while about things like trainability and exercise requirements and personality traits. And while I'm talking, you should be making a list of your dog criteria, the things you want and your deal breakers. It's just like dating, guys. Except I'm not even going to go there. You can fill the blanks with your preferred joke. Throughout this video, I'm going to list dog breeds as examples of the traits I'm talking about, and this is just to give you a starting point for your research. Because even within a particular breed, you'll find a wide variety of personalities. Anytime you're looking at a potential dog, especially one at a shelter where 75% of the dogs are mixed breeds, breed traits don't really matter so much as the actual real live dog sitting in front of you. How much training are you willing to do? Any dog you get is going to require some training to some degree, and some dogs are easier to train than others. There are dogs who have a high tolerance for frustration, are more forgiving of handler error, which is a nice way of saying that these dogs are so happy to work with you, so eager to work with you, that they'll put up with your bullshit. All the stupid mistakes you make, all the poorly timed cues, all the sloppy communication, etc. These dogs are also easy to motivate. They're willing to work for motivators that are easy to dish out, like treats or frisbees. These are the dogs that we call easy to train, or eager to please, or smart. This would be a good dog for someone who doesn't want to have to put too much effort into training. Maybe you're looking for a nice family pet. You've got 3 young kids, and you've got enough on your plate trying to navigate their motivators and short attention spans. You'll want one of these dogs who are highly food motivated. I'll teach you how to find one of these dogs in the next video. But for now, just take your list and write down food motivated. This category can include pit bulls, Dobermans, poodles, Papillons, golden retrievers, labs, Shelties, German shepherds, border collies, Australian shepherds, and pretty much all the dogs in the herding dog category. But as we shall see, the herding dog types will make you pay for their easy to trainness. A dog might be harder to train if they're less tolerant of human bullshit. They're not quite as passionate about working with people, and they've got motivators that are harder to implement in a training session. For example, scent hounds like beagles and bloodhounds can be harder to motivate because they're always distracted by their noses. Dogs with a low tolerance for bullshit are sometimes referred to as stubborn. A lot of Huskies, Malamutes, Shiba Inus, and Chow Chows fit into this category. Now, maybe you're somebody who looks forward to doing as much training as possible. Maybe you want to get into agility competitions or nerd out over clicker training and teach your dog all kinds of tricks, in which case, you're one of my people. Welcome to 3 Lost Dogs. We'll get along great. A harder to train dog might be a fun challenge for you. Stubborn dogs tend to respond really well to clicker training. But more likely, you're gonna want a dog who is as big a nerd as you are, especially if you're new to training or new to your sport. Look for a dog who is food motivated and toy motivated. Being excited by toys is a good indicator of a dog who will do well in dog sports. How active are you really? Now, you need to be brutally honest here. You don't have to share your answers with me, but you need to know. A mismatch in energy levels is one of the biggest causes of misery in dog adopters and their new dogs. Say you want a partner for hiking and walking. If that means that you plan on taking your dog on big adventures a few times a week, then a higher energy dog might be right for you. But if you work full time and save all your hiking for the weekends, then a high energy dog will probably make you miserable. In this case, the best dog for you is one that you can live with for the other 5 days of the week. A dog who will be happy to sleep on the couch while you're away at work. On a similar note, if you're thinking of trying your first agility class, then a border collie puppy is probably overkill. Shelters are full of well-socialized young adult dogs who would make fantastic first agility dogs. Beyond just exercise, a big factor is your dog's mental stimulation requirements. Dogs need a way to exercise their brains, otherwise they go crazy. Brain work can include things like puzzle toys, trick training, obedience training, nose work, setting up a backyard agility course. In general, the smarter a dog is, the more brain work they require. Herding dogs like border collies and Belgian Malinois are very smart and very trainable, and they are happy to spend as much time as possible working on whatever project you want. Like if I want to spend all day practicing some new frisbee trick, my Belgian Malinois River is happy to do that. She will never get tired of playing frisbee. And if I want to try some nerdy new clicker training method, my border collie Merlin is as big a clicker nerd as I am, and he will be happy to spend the entire day doing that. But the price you pay for all of that intelligence and enthusiasm is that you have to devote a large portion of your day to your dog. Otherwise, they can develop a lot of behavior issues. These dogs are best for people who want a dog they can work with rather than just a pet. If the thought of studying dog training methods and constantly coming up with new ways to make your dog's puzzle toys more challenging makes your eyes glaze over, a herding dog will drive you absolutely fucking insane. To put it in polite terms, that is. If you're not really active, or if you don't have enough time to devote to exercising your dog's body and mind, look for a lower energy dog. This could mean a dog who is at least 3 years old, or it could mean a breed like pugs, English bulldogs, French bulldogs, basset hounds, Great Danes, and a lot of smaller breed Chihuahua type mixes. You will definitely want to avoid the terrier, herding, and working categories. If you have dogs at home, a big priority for you will be finding a dog who is good with dogs. Not just one who tolerates dogs, but one who actively likes them. If you're looking for a buddy for your current dog, look at the kind of dog that they already get along with. If you've taken your dog to dog parks, or if your dog has met your friends' dogs, you've probably noticed that there are certain types that your dog gravitates to. Some dogs prefer to play with dogs who are obnoxious and loud and rambunctious, and other dogs prefer dogs who are more quiet and less obnoxious. If you don't have dogs currently, but you plan on taking your dog to agility classes or other dog sport classes, look for a dog who at least tolerates the presence of other dogs. And if you don't have other dogs and you don't plan on having your dog be around other dogs, sociability doesn't matter as much, but you should still ask the staff about the dog's history to make sure you don't run into any surprises. I can't give breed recommendations for this because it always comes down to the individual. Do you want a dog to cuddle with? Look for a dog who wants to sit in your lap during the meet and greet instead of one who doesn't really seem to care about affection. If you have kids, look for a dog who not just tolerates them, but really seems to love them. And again, I can't really give breed recommendations for this because it always comes down to the individual. A good choice for families with little kids tends to be medium-sized, moderate energy dogs. I mean, a 70-pound pit bull might love your kids, but you'll spend all your time preventing that dog from jumping on them and knocking them over. And delicate toy breeds are breakable, and little kids tend to break things. So watch out for that. Can you handle behavior challenges? There's a misconception that all dogs in shelters have behavior problems, and that's definitely not true. Most dogs are perfectly fine, but you will find some who do have some behavior issues. Common issues include separation anxiety, reactivity, and fearfulness. Some dogs are aggressive with other dogs and need a home that can commit to having that dog be the only dog in the house. And there are a lot of adolescent puppies whose previous owners got them when they were baby puppies. They didn't socialize them, and then they surrendered them to the shelter when they became, rude, unsocialized adolescents. So what happens if you visit the shelter and fall in love with one of these dogs? Adopting a dog like this can be rewarding, but you've got to make sure that you are prepared for it. Some issues like mild shyness or adolescent rudeness can be overcome with some time, some patience, and some hard work, not to mention some self-doubt and frustration. But other issues like severe separation anxiety or severe reactivity will completely change the way you live your life. So do some research into these issues, read about the kind of training and behavior modification it takes, and make sure that you feel like you can actually do this before you commit to a dog like this. If you think you can do it, great. If not, that's great too. There's no shame in recognizing that you are not the right fit for this dog and moving on to a dog that you can actually help. Now, the big exciting question, can you handle a puppy? So recently, I made the interesting choice to raise 2 puppies in the space of 1 year. And this experience has made me vow to never get a puppy ever again as long as I live. All right, that's kind of an exaggeration. I'm sure someday I'll get another puppy, but only once I have forgotten how terrible the experience is. Now, don't get me wrong, I love puppies. Puppies are fantastic, but at the same time, my God, puppies are awful. Puppies are incredibly time intensive and labor intensive. So only get a puppy if you can commit to having this puppy be your priority for the next 6 months. The big issue for puppies under the age of 5 months is socialization. Puppies need to be introduced to all kinds of people, animals, and situations. Otherwise, they can end up being fearful or having all kinds of other issues when they become adults. Now, the socialization process can be a lot of fun. You get the chance to prepare your puppy for exactly the kind of life you plan for him to live. Like if you plan on competing in agility, you'll introduce your puppy to agility obstacles. You'll take him to parks, festival environments with big crowds, so he can be accustomed to this kind of situation when he's older. But socialization can also be really stressful on the human. I mean, if you do it wrong, you could screw up your dog. No pressure. And house training is another major thing. During the day, puppies need to go to the bathroom at least every 2 hours. At least. And this can be a logistical nightmare for households where everybody's at work or school all day. And if you have a toddler or a young child, you will be shocked at how quickly your life suddenly revolves around preventing the puppy from chewing on them. If you're up for the puppy challenge, great. But if you're just looking for a dog who will chill on the couch while you play video games, maybe don't get a puppy. Puppies have no chill. No chill whatsoever. If you're wondering if a puppy is right for you, you can check out the absurdly long video I made about my puppy River. That should give you a good idea of what the experience is like. So I've been talking for a very long time now, but all of this is just the tip of the iceberg. I suggest you get real comfortable on this iceberg for a while, set up base camp on this iceberg, and continue to do research because you can never be too prepared. There are more resources at the links below. See you next time.